Hello, my name's JD Kamis, and I served in the Army for about 8 years on tanks. And a friend of mine, Ilona Meager, who I had met, knew about a project that, or a workshop Lisa was doing in Carroll Streams and brought me out there. And I was very interested, and I thought it was a good idea. And she asked me to contribute to the Veterans Art Project, and I at first didn't really know what I was going to do, so I just kind of sent her a story about something that had happened to me in Iraq. And I wasn't sure how I felt about it, so I had just asked them, well, why don't we just have someone read it nicely in just kind of a very plain, stated way, and just leave it to everyone else to take what they can take from it. And so I was there for the presentation of this, and I was sitting in the audience, and the artist came up, and he read my story, and it really struck me because I began to look around at the other people in the audience. You know, this is my story, but I'm not up there, I'm not in the spotlight, this is someone else telling my story. And I could look around and see people reacting to my story. And it was just very cool and very powerful to see that, wow, all these people are reacting and kind of getting it and interacting with it. And it's also comfortable for me because I don't feel on the spotlight. And I kind of instantly was sort of inspired, and I thought to myself, I said, you know, I need to bring this to NIU. This would be great. And then I immediately after that go, I'm gonna make a sculpture. I don't know how to do a sculpture, I'm gonna find somebody, you know? And as things turned out, the very first day of class for an honors class that I was taking, with a professor who I really enjoyed and had taken classes with before, so at the end of the class, I'm just waiting around, I'm gonna talk to him and hang out a little bit. This woman walks up and says, you know, I have another class that kind of conflicts with this, and I was wondering if it's okay that sometimes I'm not here because I'm a sculpture major and I can't always make it here. And I just kind of turned and looked at her, and I'm like, okay, don't look at her crazy, you know, don't get her all nervous, because I was like, I must be just looking at her so strangely. I'm like, pardon me, but we need to talk. And then ever since then, it's just been continuing on. Our performance for the Veterans Art Project was this last Sunday, and it was an amazing performance. The story that Lisa had told about the veteran and his wife stuff was a good friend of mine. He's part of the club, you know. So we got a lot of people involved and a lot of people inspired, and that's really how I got involved, and I'd like to continue working. I think it's a great project. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. How are we doing tonight? All right, thanks for coming. I just want to get some thank yous out of the way before I go into my story. I see a couple 101st friends of mine, first and foremost. I'm a 101st guy, so you guys can raise your hands or something. Say air assault. Yep. Kevin Rushing, DePaul University, just snuck in the back. And of course, last but definitely not least, the Vets Art Project. Lisa Rosenthal, Jessa, David on camera, and the other great people that have been involved in the project from the beginning. Thank you for everything, and thank you all for coming tonight. My name is Adam Navarro-Lowry. I served in the 101st Airborne Division, Military Police Corps. I served in Kosovo during 2001 and was over there during September 11th. Little interesting fact about that, I was actually on one of the first manhunts over there for Osama bin Laden. Reason being, that area, there's a strong Muslim population, and so there are some Al-Qaeda operatives in that area. So, I don't know if you knew that, but just an interesting little fact about my service. I just want to say this about the Vets Art Project, that I have been dealing with symptoms for the past 8 years stemming from my military service, and I have been participating in the Vet Art Project since April-May time frame of 2009. And it has, what we've been doing there with the meeting of the artist community and the veterans community has really been just, you know, I'm actually going to have tears coming, I don't know. But using art to explore your military experience, trauma, and so forth, is something I would recommend to any of my fellow comrades who have served and have been had family members who served in traumatic situations. I've participated in the mapping the personality, which was, actually it was interesting, the face, you close your eyes and trace your face and try to actually make your face. So that is, my face was actually not on my head, so it's interesting. Really, the connection with other veterans has been very helpful to kind of share our stories through art. So my friend here, Matt, and others that have been doing this for a while, we've kind of looked at our military experience through a different lens, and it's been overall just very healing. The other thing I'm going to say is that, celebrating the arts, I have a new perspective on what art is and what it means to myself and to others. So, thank you.
My name is Matt Ping, and I spent 4 years in the Army, 16 months in Afghanistan, and I came back and decided to go to art school. My first month here, I contacted Lisa because I was starting a student veterans group at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, which unfortunately we only had about 4 veterans, so our community there wasn't very big. So I decided to come to the Vet Art Project and start doing things anyway. And the transformation, I'm sure that they could tell you, was immense because, as Janice said, isolation is something that really destroys the mentality of veterans. And if we have no platform to share our stories or meet people who actually care and have open hearts, it makes things a lot easier to deal with. And using these different forms that maybe you don't traditionally use, like writing and all the different kinds of art, they actually really help a lot. I had some problems while I was in the military, and I saw, behavioral health there, and, they didn't have the things that I needed. I didn't need to talk to someone that was getting paid to help me. I felt a lot greater connection talking to people who actually cared and wanted to hear the stories, and it's helped me out a lot since then. And the Vet Art Project community is probably the only real community I've had my entire life. And it's great to have it now, and it's great to be a part of it and to see these people on a regular basis and help them. And a personal story, I guess, would be I've never done abstract art or drawing, and it was never really my thing. And we had a couple courses on it and stuff, and I started drawing some things that I'd been dreaming about, like some mixtures of war with my childhood and some really disturbing stuff that would tear me up at night. And from drawing these things, and like Janice said, once it's on the paper, you have a lot more control over it than if you had not done something like that. It's a lot harder to live with memories if you can't get a true visual on it. And I don't know, that's helped me more than anything I can imagine, and it's helped me connect with people better. And that's it.